You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back. Excited to have you with me here today on our first of two Cabral House Calls. Every weekend, always able to hopefully get to our community questions. Look forward to opening up that document I have on my computer each and every week. My team updates it. They bring in all the questions that have come in over the past week or so, but also we're always going in order of first come, first serve. So essentially, we're answering questions, and I know we get a lot of questions all the time. When will my question be answered? We don't know the exact date because I never know how many of the questions I'm going to get to. I let it flow. I read the question for the first time, and then I just organically answer that question to the best of my ability. Sometimes it's a minute, sometimes it's 3 or 4 minutes, but what I want to do is give people that place to start. So we are actually picking up on questions from September 24th. If your question came in and was written before September 24th, it has already been answered. And if it came in after September 24th, well, it will be answered on a future show. So we're just going in order that the questions come in. Again, always happy to see your questions, always happy to answer them. And if you would like answers pretty much the same day, within about 24 to 48 hours, head on over to our free private Facebook group. You can go there by going to cabralsupportgroup.com, and it will actually forward you to that private Facebook group. You're welcome to join for free. All right, I want to get right into these questions, right? So the first one, so we can spend the most amount of time on the questions, is from Nala or Nala. It is Nala. I was hoping you could recommend a center in India for doing a 21 to 30-day panchakarma. I've been researching it on my own, but I thought I'd get your experience for a place. P.S. I'm an organic farmer, and I am living in California. I would like to continue eating organic and being in a place out of the city. I love your book. Everyone in our family is reading it. Nala or Nala, that is much appreciated. Happy to hear that you are sharing that book with others, and that's what it's all about. They don't even have to buy it. You can just keep sharing the book. That works totally fine as well. I'm happy to see that. So where can I recommend in India? Well, India is a tough one for me to recommend because I don't know your current living circumstances. So I was in some amazing Ayurvedic clinics, but they were no frills, so I'd work in them, and I've shared that experience many times. A few of them were very hard living, to tell you the truth, and the living accommodations were, if you're from the US, they would not be most likely suitable for you. Having said that, you can survive, right? But I don't want to set people up to not have a great experience. So what would I recommend? There is a nice, small center in Trivandrum in India. And if you go there, tell Dr. Talavane, who is the doctor that runs it. He was a cardiologist here in the U.S. Actually, I believe he did some training in the U.K. as well, and from Indian descent. And he's back in India in Mysore, Mysore. I studied with him on one of my trips in India, and I did panchakarma there as well. I did panchakarma many, many times in India to gain my own experience, but I studied with him specifically on pulse diagnosis. Great guy, great man, really good heart, and he owns a center. I could not tell you the name of it. I believe it's just Mysore Ayurvedic Center, but you'll find his name, Dr. Talavane, Talavane, Talavane. There we go, Dr. Krishna Talavane. So there you are. All right. Cherie is up next, or Cherie, sorry, my pronunciation of names. I'm about to start the CBO protocol and is wondering if I can continue to use my collagen powder. I also like 1 day or 2 of the 7-day detox. Can I continue on only to have the shakes for the first days during the CBO protocol? Yes. So the question is yes, all across the board. You can use our advanced collagen powder. I don't know If you're using another collagen powder, if there isn't any added fillers or any issues and you don't have any histamine issues and it doesn't cause bloating, then no problem. Our advanced collagen powder is one of the easiest and best ways to get the highest quality collagen out there with 1/3 the animal product. So not only is it more sustainable for the environment, causes less waste, and it's the highest quality and best delivery system out there. 3 patents on that specifically. So advanced collagen support, yes, you can do the detox while on the CBO protocol, and that would work fine. Annika is up next, and Annika's writing in, hello there, thank you for your great work you're doing. My sister told me that you're about to launch your own certified health practitioner protocol to teach people the way that you are healing. I cannot find anything about it on your website. Maybe I'm in the wrong place. Thank you for getting back to me. Warm regards from Germany. Happy to hear you're writing in from Germany. I actually look forward to hopefully doing an event in Germany in late 2019. I've never been to Germany. It was not a regret, but one of the things I would like to have done and I would always wanted to do about 9 years ago when I was doing my internships, I wanted to study bioregulatory medicine in Germany. Well, I got the experience to study bioregulatory medicine in the Netherlands, and I got to study bioregulatory medicine all over the United States and become certified in many different modalities of bioregulatory medicine, as well as homotoxicology. So I got my wish, just not specifically in Germany, but I'm looking to explore Germany, not only for the medicine and the cutting-edge medicine they have there, but also for the culture and everything else. So I'm looking forward to that. Do hope to be able to get there. I'll let everyone know if you're able to make it to that. That would be fun. I want to do a small gathering there. Very, very informal, but just to meet people, answer questions, and maybe give a talk as well. So what were we even talking about? Let's see. The question was, the integrative health practitioner certification. I'll be honest, we are not a direct marketing company, and because of that, we probably could do a better job at letting people know on the website what's going on, those types of things. We're doing our best. We have quadrupled the size of our team in the past 6 months. We always answer all your questions at cabralsupportgroup.com. So that's the best place. Now, you've probably seen it launch because you wrote in on 9/25, and we actually launched at the beginning of October. So believe it or not, it is only, 2 months old? That's it. But we already have in over 500 members. We're very selective now moving forward. We did a huge launch the first time. We didn't want to tell people no, but the last 2 in November and the beginning of December, we've kept that now to 100 per opening. 200 in October, 100 in December, and we're going to keep it at 100, I believe, going forward. And that's so we can continue. In my opinion, we have such an amazing community, and I want to really just continue to take great care of the people in that group. Such an amazing community. Check it out at integrativehealthpractitioner.org. We are opening January 1st or January 2nd. 100 people. Can't wait to invite in our new members. All right, Brooklyn is up next, and she's writing in, I'm in my late 20s. I've been diagnosed with GI and leaky gut. I eat gluten, dairy, and almond-free after getting my IgG and IgG results back. I'm struggling with bloating, constant exhaustion, fatigue, lately extreme pain and soreness in my shoulders. Can you let me know what you recommend? I'm unsure of what to do. Thank you in advance for your expertise, insight, and knowledge. I appreciate and respect how dedicated you are to helping others. Love your consistent enthusiasm and passion on your podcast. Thank you, Brooklyn. I appreciate that. So this is right in our wheelhouse. I mean, we work not every day. We work every hour. There's no exaggeration. Every hour we work on digestive issues. It's 2/3 of our practice for sure. So this is very common: bloating, exhaustion, fatigue, and pain. Well, you can say, why would pain be related to leaky gut? Why would fatigue be related to leaky gut? We know why bloating is, right? Because there's fermentation in the gut, improper balance of bacterial overgrowth and candida overgrowth. So certainly you can look those up in my previous podcasts on why candida diets don't work and the candida protocol, the parasite protocol. But here's why the pain, the fatigue, and the exhaustion set in. And that's because think about if you had perforations, holes like Swiss cheese in your intestines. And all the time you were leaking out proteins and things that were never supposed to end up in your bloodstream. Well, your immune system would go after these things. That's a constant battle going on to keep your blood clean. It is exhausting and fatiguing for your body. Plus, when your body is not doing a great job of digestion, what else is happening? You are using more energy for digestion, and you're also absorbing less nutrients. I'm going to do a podcast on this because this is an important topic because there's basically an absorption issue. Okay, that's a big one. Then there's a energy leakage or just extra energy expenditure. Very, very important to look at that, okay? And the third part is the cleanup, and that's the intestinal permeability. So I'm going to do a whole podcast on this and why we get the multiple symptoms. Now, why the pain? Well, the pain is this. We have an inflamed immune system. And for you, the inflammation could be starting to cause a lot more tension, neck and shoulders. That's not abnormal. Between the shoulder blades is a sign oftentimes of liver-based congestion. Well, liver congestion can come from your gut-associated lymphoid tissue bringing everything to the liver that's spilling out of the intestines and having to clean up, right? So another time, this is not proven, so I don't want to say this from a science perspective because I always give you the science, and I'll let you know when it's not. But there are many people that speculate, and I don't disagree, that a lot of people with yeast overgrowth and gut overgrowth, what they have is pain between the shoulder blades as well, and a lot of people connect that with candida. So what's the best thing that you could do? Best thing that you could absolutely do. You've already run the food sensitivity test. No need to run that again. Let's run the organic acids test and the stool test, even before you do the adrenal hormone testing. Now, you could do that as well. That would be phenomenal to do the whole big five if you want, plus the stool test. But if we can do the organic acids test and stool test, that will give us all the knowledge we need to give you the recommendations that I will make for you. All right, Joel is up next. Joel is asking, I'm interested in doing the CBO protocol. Sorry, Brooklyn. One other thing to look into is if you don't want to do lab testing is our actual candida and bacterial overgrowth protocol. And if you want everything, I would do the parasite protocol before that, then the intestinal cleanse, and then the candida and bacterial overgrowth protocol. I've given I always give you exactly what we do in our practice. Simply go back to previous podcasts by going to stephencabral.com/podcasts, and you will see exactly what we do step by step. Or run the lab test, and we will walk you through the whole process. Lastly, the lab tests are available at equilibriumnutrition.com. Okay, Joel's up next. I'm interested in doing the CBO protocol, but since it would go through the holiday season, I'm wondering if you're allowed cheat meals in the protocol. If so, how far in the protocol are you allowed a cheat meal and how many times a week? Thanks. In good health, Joel. All right, Joel, great question. After 21 days, you can have a once per week cheat meal of anything that you would like. Keep in mind, some people don't feel great after that cheat meal, and it might not feel great for 2 or 3 days afterwards. So we don't recommend doing a lot of cheating, especially during the first 6 to 8 weeks, but without a doubt, we totally understand. There's always a wedding, there's always a birthday, there's always an event, there's always a holiday, right? There's never a good time. Just get started. Doing 95% of it is way better than doing nothing, right? So get started, enjoy a once a week cheat meal, and you're going to do just great. Julie's up next. I'm writing in regards to my 83-year-old father. He has dementia with significant cognitive decline and a loss of muscle strength and control. He's not wheelchair bound, but uses a walker and is very unstable. I listened to your podcast 746 on halting and reversing Alzheimer's and brain-based aging. I'm wondering if it's too late to help my dad. He's so thin, I'm afraid of major diet change that would cause him to lose weight, but at the same time, I would do anything to help him if there's hope. So this is obviously one that we care deeply about, and this is something that you need to work with someone on a deeper level. I'll always let you know, in a case like this, you can absolutely get your dad the help that he needs. So I'm convinced that you can at least halt cognitive decline, Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's in its tracks. So I'm convinced of that, but of course you know that I don't treat, diagnose, or cure disease, right? So I have to say that. So here's the thing. I believe that you can do that without a doubt. And I believe a lot of people can get back a lot of their cognition, a lot of their memory, a lot of their neurological and motor-based control, as long as there hasn't been a complete degeneration of the neural synapses in the brain, as well as the actual nerves themselves, or the myelin sheath, or the dendrites, all the parts, the axiom of the actual nerves. So what I'd like you to do, my highest recommendation, since your dad's 83, and he's going to need a little bit more weekly check-ins and care, is to find a functional medicine doctor that specializes in this in your area, either a naturopathic doctor or a functional medicine doctor that specializes in this. And you'll be able to run omega-3 tests. You'll be able to run specific blood markers. You'll be able to run gut-based tests. All of these things will help your dad to absorb more food, get more of the B vitamins he needs, I mean, at the very least, if you wanted to do the daily protocol, well, that's a great place to start. And add in the omega-3s as long as he's not on blood thinners. But that's why, I can't give you all the recommendations because your dad might be on a half a dozen medications, and I don't specifically know. So I'm giving you a place to start, and he needs to optimize his vitamin D. I did 3 shows on Alzheimer's. If you check out those shows, you'll know exactly what to look at, and that's exactly what I would do. Thank you, Julie, and I know that you can get some help. So as long as your dad is willing, then I think that's absolutely fantastic. Lisa is up next. I've been working out for over 10 years, but in the past 2 months, I've noticed that every day when I go to the gym, or even when I use my Cybex machine at home, I get this postnasal drip down my throat during my workout. What could this be, and what do you suggest? Interesting. So, postnasal drip during a workout, thinking right now, off the top of my head, and experience with this, all I'm seeing right now and all I'm thinking right now is a thinning of the mucus secretions with potentially an increase in body temperature, as well as greater circulation through the body, and that includes, obviously, the mucosa. So there's a couple ways to look at this. When you're looking at postnasal drip, are we loosening up something, right? Is there something already going on in the sinuses? My guess is yes, because I don't think that you're having what could be a much more rare reaction, which is a histamine-triggered exercise-induced response. What does that mean? Well, it means when you're exercising, and some people get this in a sauna as well, but it's so rare, that your body, because it is quite inflamed, begins to increase a greater amount of cytokines. It doesn't have enough cortisol for the response to the exercise because you are so run down and electrolyte most likely depleted that your body actually has almost like an allergy to exercise. And I know that sounds maybe kind of funny, but there's a truth in that. There actually is that response. But that's a body that just needs to be rebalanced. So my guess, though, is that there's already some type of nasal-based congestion that you may be unaware of because it's not in your nose, but it's up in your sinuses. And I would simply go back and use our ear, nose, and throat protocol. That is the Nutribiotic nasal spray. You can use the throat spray if you'd like. And I would use the neti pot on a daily basis. And you could also even maybe look at the Nasya oil that I've talked about before, Nasya oil. All right? So that's where I would start, Lisa. Great question. Lydia Bray, or Lydia is up next. She's writing in, "Hi, Dr. Paul. I recently found your podcast. I've been listening and learning for the last 8 years or so. I've done my best to be my own naturopath. I did a incurables cleanse. I won't name the doctor's name because I don't want to disparage any other doctor. I found a great homeopath and also a good naturopath. I've been to functional medicine chiropractor. I'm going to go all the way down our list because it's a long list. So I just want to make sure that I, in use of time, that I allow everyone to go to stephencabral.com/1051 to look at the show notes, and you can also see this whole question. Okay. Thank you for your willingness to help others who just don't know where to turn. I took the Big 5 lab test you recommended, and I'm on, hopefully, the path to healing. My question is, I have constricted pupils, and I have had constricted pupils for around 8 years or so. I would guess you would call them pinpoint. They're always small. When I'm in a room with bright light, they are tiny, and when I cover them or dim the light, I see no change. She's going on to talk about her cortisol. All right, well, I want to just give you this answer. I can't give you results. This is what you're going to speak with one of my health coaches. There's no doubt I've already read over your Big 5 labs, so you're all set there. So here's what I want to do, because I know exactly what the pinpoint pupils are. One of the things that I studied when I talked about bioregulatory medicine is we study skin-based tests, we study iridology, iridology is very different though. Iridology is not the same as looking at the pupils. Okay, so iridology, you're looking at the iris. It's fantastic. I just use it as one part of, 50 different key points that I'm looking at. I just look at it, say, oh, this is interesting. These are all matching up. When I see a dozen different things and they all match up, I say, okay, well, this is probably a real thing. So here's the thing with the pupil though. The larger the pupil, and this is going to seem very, very, I think, very important. The larger the pupil, the more sympathetic nervous system dominant. That means the more fight or flight and stuck in fight or flight. It's like when you are trying to take in more information, that pupil just opens right up, right? In the dim light, that pupil should open up to take in more. Well, it's the exact opposite with the parasympathetic. And this is very interesting because, again, I've seen in my personal appointments well over 30, 35,000 people. And in our practice, we've done over 250,000. So a lot of data from going through the initial consultations. People that are on things that inhibit the sympathetic nervous system cause the pinpoint pupils. I oftentimes see it with people on blood pressure medication or calcium channel blockers, diuretics, things like that. Not as much with diuretics, more like the beta blockers and the calcium channel blockers. What happens when you get these pinpoint eyes is we're in more of what's called a parasympathetic. I did see that you wrote you had high evening cortisol and high nighttime cortisol. Well, this overall cortisol-wise shows like, again, we don't know where you were 6 months ago or a year from now, but this is someone that needs to continue to heal. Your body's trying to push yourself into the parasympathetic nervous system, most likely, in order to heal at a deeper level. To not take on greater stress, greater work, greater workouts, greater just fasting, right? Not extra stress. We need to cool and calm your body. Adrenal soothe, magnesium, anything that's cooling, calming, relaxing for your body. Meditation, light sauna, not too hot, Epsom salt baths, gentle rebounding, all of these things, parasympathetic. Check out In the Rain Barrel Effect. Check out the de-stress protocol, of course, but the stress and rest module for yourself. All right? Hopefully that gives you a good place to get started. Let's see how in-depth the next question is. The next question is very in-depth. And what we're going to do is answer this tomorrow as our first question from Sandra. And it's funny because I remember Sandra's name. Sandra wrote in to us, direct message, if we got her question, and it hasn't been answered yet. We always get every question, and it's funny because you just emailed in last week, and your question's up next. And that's it. So you wrote in on September 27th. We'll be answering that one to start tomorrow. We've got a lot of great questions tomorrow. I do hope that you tune in. This is going to be on a non-dairy baby formula tomorrow. We're going to be talking about slow oxidizers. What else do we have coming up? We're talking about fatigue and immunity issues. We're talking about lupus. Okay, we've got that. We've got a bunch of really long questions, but I'm going to make sure that I dissect all those questions, that we do a little forensic detective work, and that we give people the first place that they can get started in order to heal. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. Hope you're enjoying this hopefully fun holiday weekend if you're celebrating the holidays early next week and into next week. And thank you again for being a part of this amazing community. Take care. Before you go, I wanted to ask you this question. What if I could teach you in just a couple of hours how to transform your thyroid, hormones, adrenal, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, energy, mood, brain, pregnancy, anti-aging, or many other health-related issues? After 20 years in private practice, after seeing and overseeing 250,000 client appointments, I sincerely feel I have the real-world data and have found the answer you've been searching for. So what I've done is spent hundreds of hours of my own time refining what you need to know in order to uncover your underlying root cause health issues and then begin to rebalance the body and bring it back to a state of robust health and wellness. I'm going to teach you exactly what I do in my private practice so you can understand how you got here and now what you need to do in order to heal. You'll receive all of the important success checklists, protocols, and even ways to customize it to make the program fit your busy life. And you'll get all of this at a fraction of the price. Let me save you the time, money, energy, stress, and frustration of not knowing what to do next. Instead of reading dozens of books on the topic and seeing multiple practitioners, I will condense everything that you need to know in just a few hours of video tutorials that you can watch and listen to anywhere. Together, we will make this healing process an enjoyable one that you can take with you for the rest of your life. I wish you all of the best of health and happiness, and I hope to be able to guide you on your healing journey through my Health Results Accelerators. Simply choose the health imbalance you're currently suffering from, and by the end of today, you'll know what went wrong and how to get well again. I guarantee it. For details, head over now to stephencabral.com/courses.